went to primary school at Buckland Bridge, and then this was a secondary school along here. You were talking about the 50s and the 60s. Liked it as well, but this river was terrible then.
It's brown and dirty. You had their mills and factories going on.
Surface tension. I mean, the images of the dead animals in this river were hard to see. It's very brutal effects of the brutal images of the effects of capitalism is what I'm trying to say. And then you see how this once beautiful river has almost become this industrial wasteland. And there's this appreciation for this river by those who live in this community, but it's difficult to see the beauty of the river throughout all this debris, which this debris goes into the sea and eventually is what kills off the fish. And the people in the community are calling for the conservation for this. Now, what was so striking about this piece was the underwater visuals. I mean, as hard as they were to see, they were also very beautiful in some cases, like with the book floating through at the end and things like that. It was very much an in-your-face visual. And there was also just some moments where you see the people looking down at the water. We're seeing it from below, and it just kind of gives you a sense of like, you know, what is under the surface, really. And, you know, it's one thing to look at a body of water from afar and appreciate it, but it's another thing to kind of see what's floating underneath and to see, you know, all the debris and the death that's just in that water. It's just like, we got to do something about this. It's definitely a strong call to action.
Surface tension. This was a beautiful film. It really was. And it just very eloquently stated how important it is to keep our rivers clean for the future of our planet. I loved the interviews that they did with everybody, especially how clever they were to snap that picture while the person was talking. So it wasn't just a voiceover where you didn't get a chance to see who it was. They did this really cool special effect with snapping that photograph and also using other photographs too. I really enjoyed the fact that the children are able to go down to the river and they're being educated about the river. I think that that's so important because that's our future generations. The cinematography was beautiful. I loved listening to all of the different interviews through voiceover. I thought that was great. The only thing that I would say kind of threw me for a minute was right at the beginning of the film. It starts on a black screen, and that's going on until the voiceover comes in. And even for like a few seconds of the voiceover, I honestly thought that there was something wrong with my computer when I was watching this on it because I didn't get a picture with the voiceover when it started. So, but honestly, that's just being really nitpicky. The rest of the film was amazing.
It was a very beautiful film. You know, I liked hearing the folks give their, you know, their testimony of their life with this river, the daily use of the river. And yeah, you know, the photography and everything was gorgeous. You know, even the disturbing parts where we're like seeing like especially at the end, when we see that book tumbling through the water, we're seeing the, you know, all the dirt and refuse there. I mean, everything was executed very beautifully here. The interviews were very well done. Everybody, you know, everybody spoke their piece really nicely. I understood what the whole thing was about. So yeah, it was everybody was great on screen and in their voiceover. So yeah, you know, really nicely directed, really nicely edited. Music was beautiful. Yeah, great story and great job all around. So yeah, I hope this gets out there for you. I hope it gets seen and hope it does well for you because it's a really nice piece.
You can see the movement in nature as she breathes the word life to the surface. Grass strands move through the waters. I love the shot almost a minute in where we see the two levels of both underwater and above ground. Creative cinematography as we continue to be moving along with the current here. a good mix between nature photography, and though it still carries movement and video footage. I love the transitions in between the interviews. They aren't talking heads, but we are provided with a photo to attach to attach the voice with the face. My favorite photos in this collection would definitely be the abandoned bike in the river. You can see art in the rubbish found and pulled out of this body of water. They've showcased this. And this book moving through the water at the end of the piece is just a beautiful moment to have captured. Lovely piece.
I think Surface Tension was a great piece looking at the ecological impact that we've been having on water and our water sources and our waterways and how we can fix it. And I think the way that you conducted these interviews was so creative, and going from that narration to this image on the water was really impactful and so creative. I think this entire piece was shot and edited so... I really haven't seen a nature documentary shot in this way before, and it made it, not only informative but really creative and just lovely to look at. So I really, really want to commend you for that. Overall, yeah, a really informative piece. It can really apply to any body of water throughout the world, because it is like a growing and ongoing issue. So I really want to commend you for that and say overall, really, really well done.
This was a really strong piece, put together really well. The assortment of stills and footage that are used are great. They really capture the essence of what they're talking about, which was very specific, one particular river. But the beauty of this is, beauty is not the best word, but it absolutely goes beyond this river. It's a global issue. You could take the format for this piece and literally transpose it to any other municipality and find a river or a lake bed or something that this applies to. So I really enjoyed the specificity and the way it was edited. And I just sort of nod to the fact that this absolutely could be applied at so many other places that's actually a little disheartening, but it's the truth. And with that truth, you get a really strong documentary. So good work.